if you get married without a prenup, is what you have before you get married yours?
Yeah, if you get married without a prenup, you usually, if you're bringing it into the wedding, marriage, it should be yours. But again, I would outline it. It doesn't have to be a prenup, and I'm not an attorney, by the way.
Yeah.
But I would write down type something out saying, we're entering this marriage at this date, and before I met you, I accumulated this. So I'm bringing this in, and you had this, and you're bringing this into the marriage. If we leave each other in the future, divorce, then we should both leave with this without these being disturbed by each other. In other words, whatever I bring, I should leave with. But if you put it in writing and you both sign it and get it, I'm a notary, I can notarize for you, get it notarized. It would be better than not having anything, right, Jackie? I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Again, I'm not an attorney, but
absolutely.
Money causes more arguments than anything by about 10 to 1.
So iron it out now.
Iron it out now, because it's not going to get any better. And if people are fighting and say, well, once we're married, everything will be fine. No, it's going to get worse. So you got to start with a queen C that has no waves in it, because it's going to get rocky. There's going to be 10-foot waves, swells, and they're going to have 30, 40, 50, 70-foot swells in your relationship. We have a storm coming in right now offshore. They said about 70 to 90-foot waves on the offshore, but they call them swells, because they're not really here, but if they hit the coast, that's bad. So you don't need that kind of wave hitting your relationship in the future either. So you can quell the waters by getting everything done ahead of time on a piece of paper, get it signed.
Sure. As far as retirement accounts are concerned, because let's jump to that, because you're in the marriage stage. But what about the Social Security claiming and the retirement accounts? What would you suggest women do?
Yeah, well, a lot of times your husband has made more money than you have over the years. It's not your fault. It's just what the world has done. So
a lot of women take time off to have kids, and they have many years of not earning.
There's 2 parts. So remind me the second part.
Okay.
It's about divorce. Remind me that in a minute.
Okay.
But this is like, if you're married to your husband and you're still, and you're retiring, or you want to start taking Social Security, you may be able to take your husband's portion. It may be more than yours before you activate yours. And so you can that's a special claiming strategy where you get a lot more income until yours builds up to the point where it's higher, or it may never. You can always get your spouse's part.
Okay.
But if you've been married before and you've been divorced, you're married for at least 10 years and you're currently divorced, you can actually claim your ex-spouse's Social Security amount.
Whoa.
And they don't know about it and doesn't affect theirs. So you may only get, like, let's say $2,000 a month, but ex-spouse may get $3,800. Which one are you going to claim? Your ex-spouse.
Wow.
So we can show you how to do that too. So these are a lot of things that people overlook. And here's one thing: the Social Security Administration will not tell you that when you go there. All their job is to make sure that you fill your paperwork out. They can't give you any advice. So we give advice before you go make that decision, Social Security wise. So that's a big one.
That's a huge one.
It's a big one.
So it's best to get in to talk to a
Get
planner.
a claiming strategy, anytime. I mean, I think it's good to have a financial advisor on call anyway, but I mean, once a year you should meet with your advisor and go through what changed in a year.
Sure.
Well, this is a big change when you get ready to retire, so then there's a need for a big meeting. If you don't have an advisor yet, sort of like not going to the dentist for years and years and years,
Boy,
and your tooth is starting to hurt.
Oh, boy.
Well, getting close to retirement, just picture your financial teeth are starting to hurt, and you need to go meet with them. And I promise we're not going to do any drilling.
Good. That's good. Boy, do I wish I would have known this stuff when I was married, because I got divorced during the CDs, with splitting up the CD. Oh my goodness, you guys.
But if you've gone through a divorce,
Well, we married more than 10 years?
Yes.
We'll be able to enact that strategy then down the road.
Fine. Works for me.
Jackie's making notes.
I know.
But if you've been through a divorce, you're probably already sensitive. It's probably hell to go through one. If somebody needs to simplify things, will you do this for them?
Yeah, we break it down.
If I just say, hey, I like what you said, do it. I don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Here's what we always do. Since I've come from a family of educators, dad, college professor, mom, school teacher, I like to do it for people, but then I also like to show them how we did it, how they can do it themselves.
Nice.
Okay, and why. And always, it's one thing when somebody does something, they say, well, why did they do that? They never tell you. Like you go to the doctor's office, here, let me hit the knee. Why are you doing that, doc? My knee moves. And tell me why. But that's what we do. We tell you why we're doing things, and why should we take income from the regular IRA before the Roth IRA, or why should we get life insurance because it has a long-term care rider on it. Life insurance is something everybody has, but a lot of people have these old policies. What does that mean? Well, the new life insurance policies let you take some of your death benefit. Like, let's say you have $1 million life insurance policy. A lot of people have at least $1 million. You have to go to a nursing home. You don't have nursing home insurance, but you have a life insurance policy that has a nursing home rider on it.
Nice.
These are the new policies. You can reach into your death benefit. Let's say you need $100,000 for home health care for a year. They'll give you $100,000 out of your death benefit, tax-free, and there it is. And probably you only paid, well, maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for that whole life insurance policy. Now you've already got $100,000 out to pay for long-term care this year. You can do it next year, the year after. The year after, when you pass away, whatever's left gets passed on as a death benefit to your next of kin.
You're like a protector. You're like Coach Pete to the scene.
Well, it really makes a lot of sense because long-term care, you guys haven't talked about it, but you guys are gonna spend more. Well, you can't really say this, but women are going to spend more time in long-term care facilities than Coach Pete is because, again, us guys don't live as long. But both my wife's grandmothers were in long-term care facilities for 5 years or longer.
I want a nice rest home, so I'm planning to
Need to get that life insurance.
buckling down.
Yeah, because long-term care insurance is way overpriced and is nowhere near as good as having a life insurance policy, which you need anyway. They can never raise the rates on you. They can never kick you out. And it's always there. It's a permanent policy. It doesn't go away once you get it. And it doesn't have a rate increase. That's a beautiful thing. That's really beautiful on that. So anyway, there's a lot of different things we can do. But the most important thing is, we started talking about divorce. You're not alone, even if you are alone, don't have a spouse anymore. We're always here to help you. And so you never want to feel like you're alone. And your finances don't need to be an enemy. They need to be an ally. And we can show you how to make your finances work for you. Like we're talking about the right way to file Social Security, the right way to buy life insurance, the right way to get that retirement income put together. We can do it for you. Just call the number you see on the screen.
So the Gallup reports that 61% of Americans fear outliving their income is worse than dying early.
It is. And so I wrote about this. I've got a pocketbook series. So 6 different books like this. This is number 4. This is tactics. And one of the tactics is to make sure that you have an account set up or 2 or 3 accounts that are going to make sure to give you that financial fill-up strategy. It's one thing to ask a broker, hey, is my retirement safe? And of course, they're going to say yes, because they don't want your money to leave. If your money leaves, so does their commissions or their money under management fee. So we need to have some of our money that's isolated from financial termites, I call them. Those are unnecessary risk, fees, and commissions coming out of your accounts. And we could do that with the insurance industry, a step forward to give you lifetime guaranteed income accounts. And if you don't have one, you really need one, Tom. Welcome back into Annuity Avenue, folks. Coach Pete here. I've got Mr. Greg Berrien with me, one of my advisors. Works really hard to make sure people are happy, not only today, tomorrow, but all the way through retirement. I think you're going to see how great Greg does his job here when we talk about this hypothetical case example here. Before we tape this episode, we have an Uncle Sam hat in the office. We should bring that in here, Thomas, next time. But it's Uncle Sam hat, and inside the hat are a bunch of different age numbers, from 50 all the way to 98, believe it or not. And Greg reaches in there, and we decided we were going to do a widow this week. So just one person. Greg, what number did you draw out this week?
70 years old, Coach.
70-year-old widow. Yeah. Okay. And then we have a different hat. We reach in. Well, actually, we dump the numbers out, and then we put different numbers in the same hat. It's the same hat, but it's a different kind of draw. We have lump sums in there. So what kind of lump sum did you draw out, Greg?
Well, what we drew out was $500,000.
$500,000. All right, 70-year-old widow, $500,000. Keep in mind, the money we draw out of here is not all her money. This is the money that we say should be in a green account instead of a red account. So typically, we add another 25 or 30% to that, and that's extra money they have, and that should be in different places than this example we're showing. So, but the $500,000, Greg, needs to be in a safe place because she has no safety whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
She's 70 years old, and she has no income plan. She has Social Security as her only income. How can we get her in a better position right now?
That's it, Coach. We're looking at, a significant income gap.
Yeah.
And that's
between
really
what she's going to get from Social Security and what she needs to live on, probably, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you see a lot of folks in their 70s. You've seen plenty of widows in their 70s. And there's only one stream of income coming in, and they've lost one of the Social Security incomes. They may not even have any income other than that. And we've got the evil eye, and the evil eye doesn't stand for income. It stands for inflation. Inflation is beating the heck out of it. It's making Swiss cheese out of your big piece of cheese. It's now got a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
So we need to stop the holes. We need to get rid of those financial moths. They make holes. I've never had that happen to me, but that's why people put mothballs. So we got some financial mothballs we sprinkle around, and we make sure to put this money in a safe place. So go over to the whiteboard now. Let's write down let's go through the numbers.
All right.
So in that blue box, you're going to write down the age 70.
All right, she's 70 years old.
Single lady.
Single.
And we drew $500,000 out, right?
$500,000.
So Greg, your job, if you decide to accept it today, is to show us how that $500,000 can be in a safe place and give her a lifetime income.
Guaranteed.
Do you accept that?
Coach, I accept your challenge.
Oh, yeah? All right, Greg. Now, again, this is a very valuable challenge you're taking on because a lot of folks watching probably have $500,000, probably have a lot of widows watching. We do have a lot of people watching each week. By the way, folks, if you like what you're watching, like it on the screen there on the where you can do the thumbs up, and also share with your friends because a lot of your friends probably could use this information too. So, all right, Greg, 70-year-old, single, widow, $500,000. Right now, it's all in the red bucket, which means it could go down, down, down. It could go up, up, up. There's no floor between what she can make and what she can lose, right?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so what this lady is looking for is absolute security, knowing that she's going to be able to create that pension, so to speak,
Right.
that money that's going to come to her every single month, Coach. Every single month it's going to land in her checking account, even have the taxes taken out for her because it is an IRA money.
Now, you and I are not negative people, but we have to do this every single example we do. We have to show you, what if you moved your money over into our place here, the example we're showing, and every single day for the rest of your life, for the next 30, 40, 50 years, there was not one single up market. It was down, 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 down. Now, the chances of that happening are slim to none, but it still could. Right? So we have to show you everything. So if the market went down, 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 she would not get any return whatsoever. She would get a zero, though. Now, if you had the money still in the red bucket, she would probably run out of money. She would have a zero there, too. She would have lost all her money because
Absolutely.
she would have been sharing in the gain of the market, which was a zero or negative 30 or negative 40 or negative 50. So what would she have if she put the money in here and only got zeros? What can you show us for that?
What would she get on that? Well, she would get...
And did she start taking income right away? Or when
She's going to take income right away.
Right away. All right. So
Right
she
away.
put the money in and starts taking income right away.
You know what's cool about this?
What's that?
Okay. The average advisor out there, they're going to ask her to take only, what, 4% out, right?
Well, we heard about the 4% rule on Wall Street, which says that about only 92% of people are successful taking 4% of their money out. The other 8% or so people run out of money before they run out of life. Greg, is that our goal, is to have people run out of money when they're still here?
Well, I'm not going to... No.
No, we need to always make sure you have more than enough income, and then we need to make sure that your spouse gets that same income, and then when we pass away, we need to make sure our next of kin gets whatever's left.
And 4% is not going to help her make her income gap. Here's what this company's going to do.
Okay.
They're going to give her money at a rate of 6%.
Pretty neat.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's because if she had her money in the red bucket, like she does right now, before she puts the money in the green bucket, she'd lose her money. She wouldn't have any money. She would probably not have income after 5 or 6 years in the
It'd be
retirement.
gone.
Especially if the market's going down every single year, and that's what we're showing here. Now, we're not negative, are we?
No, gosh.
What if the market did something better than zero every single year, which chances are it probably will? How can we show people that? Can we go back the last 10 years and show them what the strategy did over the last 10 years? Or how do you like
What
to
we're
do
going
that?
to do is we're going to go on the assumption that it's going to maintain what it's done over the past 10 years.
Okay, and what was that number?
All righty. And so what's going to happen is the amount of money she's going to get is going to go up every single year.
Yep.
The next
Increasing
year,
income then.
This
This is assuming the market is going
assuming the market's
right,
going
right,
up.
Okay, yep.
So this increasing
You get
income.
to share in the gain, folks. You get to share in the
Yeah.
gain, but you don't share in the losses. That's the magic of it. You get a zero when the market goes down. You get to share in the gain when the market goes up. It's the best of both worlds if you think about it.
Exactly. And so the next year, she's going to get $34,673.
All right, a little bit of increasing income there. All right, so what year did you decide she was going to pass away? In your example,
Well, I have her 95 years old.
the Grim Reaper.
The-
That's about, what, 25 years from when she started?
Yep.
What's the average life expectancy right now for a female?
around 80 years old.
80?
78 to 80 is the average lifespan.
We're going to show her living longer.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, she could live to be 120, 130, 140. The income would still come to her. She'd never run out of it. But, all right, this example, she passed away at age 95 after having it 25 years. How much money did she take in that 25 years?
I need a lot of ink here. $1,462,819.
That's why I had you switch pens. And she started with 500,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then, all right, so then she passes away. Is there any money left in her account right then when she passes away?
At the age of 95, no. There's no legacy.
The next year, the market has a negative return, so you get a zero.
Yeah.
You still get the amount you got the year before.
By the way, Coach, according to this, if she tops out before she runs out of money, she'll be getting $62,000.
When you say tops out, what do you, is that would
The
be
most
what?
she'll ever get.
Okay, 62,000.
$62,156.
And she started with 33,000 as income, so she almost
Dang near
doubled that income with no risk. See, folks, that's the magic here. We're not talking about pie in the sky. We're not talking about, hey, you got to invest in crypto or bet on the racehorse that's the underdog. No, we're saying do the safest strategy that we like out here. We're independent, so we'll go search around all the different financial institutions and insurance companies and find the best fits what you and your family are looking for. And I really like this. This would get my stamp of approval all day long, because even at the zero scenario, she's still making money. But if we have an increasing market, she's going to share in that gain, and she's going to be very happy. So, folks, if you like this example, make sure to like it here on the screen. If you want to have one customized for you and your family, which, Greg, why wouldn't somebody want to have this in writing? Folks, will show you what your own numbers would look like based on your true ages and your true money. These are hypotheticals we do here because we don't know what people have. So we take guesses by reaching in our jar, reaching in our hat, and drawing numbers out. We can do a customized example for you and your family to see where you are right now and see how soon you can retire with that income that you can't outlive. Very, very important, isn't it, Greg?
Oh, man, complete.
So, folks, we'll see you next time right here on Annuity Avenue. Thanks, Greg.
The 4 buckets of tax classification are an important concept to consider in financial planning. These buckets help you understand how different types of income are taxed, which is crucial when planning for retirement or optimizing your investments. It's essential to understand why knowing the tax implications of each bucket matters when you're planning for retirement or making investment decisions. The tax treatment of your income can significantly affect your net returns and retirement security.
We have taxable bucket. That's paycheck bucket. You earn money, you have to pay tax on it. Then we have tax deferred. That's when you earn your paycheck and in your employer, maybe sometimes, or maybe you go down to the bank, you buy an IRA or you get a 401k with your employer, you can put the money into your account before taxes. That's where you're deferring the taxes. You're going to have to pay the taxes down the road. The big problem I have here is, yes, you get a nice little deferral. You don't have to pay tax on whatever money you put in an IRA or 401k at that time. But when you take the money out, not only do you have to pay tax on what you put into the 401k or IRA, you also have to pay tax on the gain. That's an invisible tax, and that's a tax time bomb, because we have no idea. If you have a great gain, you have a great amount of taxes. That's not fun, is it? So those are the 2 buckets here when we talk about paycheck. Then we have a tax-free bucket. That's if your employer, a lot of times, they'll offer you a Roth IRA option. So the Roth IRA, you can put the money in the Roth, but you can't deduct it from your tax return. In other words, if you put $3,000 into a regular IRA, you could deduct your taxable income by $3,000. So $60,000 salary down to $57,000 salary for tax purposes. But if you put that money in a Roth, the $60,000 salary, you still owe $60,000. You still have to pay tax on $60,000. But the beauty of the Roth is now it builds and builds and builds, and when you take the money out, you don't pay tax on any of it. Not the money you put in and not the gain. So big thing. So putting money into that Roth IRA is sort of like being a farmer and you're sitting on your farm one day and you see a big IRS vehicle, one of those black SUVs, the big government employees get out, 4 of them get out with their sunglasses on, look like Will Smith should be a Men in Black kind of guys. And they say, we're from the IRS. We're going to give you an offer that you have to decide today. We're going to honor it forever. We're either going to tax you on the seeds you're putting in the ground today, and we're never going to come back at harvest time. Year after year, we're not going to appear. We're never going to tax you on the harvest. Or we'll leave you alone today. Matter of fact, we'll give you a break today. We're not going to tax you on the seeds, but we're going to come back every year at harvest time, and we're going to tax you on everything you've gained from that harvest. Which choice would you do? The Roth IRA. You pay the guys one time, you pay the tax, you never have to see them again. Now, those are the 3 tax qualifications. And then we have tax-free times 2. That's utilizing the life insurance industry, who has special provisions built into the IRS code to give you tax-free income, tax-free death benefit, and in many cases, tax-free long-term care payments. That's a life insurance policy. Specialized life insurance they're not all the same, folks. So if you have a current life insurance policy, get that reviewed to make sure you have that tax-free times 2 that has those 3 main benefits: tax-free income, tax-free death, but most
Across these 4 tax buckets can impact your overall financial strategy. Spreading your assets among different tax treatments can help manage risk and potentially improve your long-term outcomes.
Knowing the 4 tax buckets is important. Diversifying amongst them, using them, in other words, Very important. So we're all going to have to pay taxes. So we're going to use that tax bucket. Some money's going to have to pay tax on it. You want to pay tax because you don't want to end up in tax court or tax jail. All right. So then the IRA option will help you build up an IRA. That's a retirement account. So that's money for your retirement. Now, the Roth option there, the tax-free Roth option, gives you a tax-free retirement income to go along with your taxable income. Now, we help people. This is called tax harvesting. We decide where to take the money out in retirement to have the less taxable options for you. So you're going to have to pay tax. And then we say, well, gosh, you just retired. You've got this great amount in your IRA. We can give you a monthly or yearly income from this IRA. The only problem is you're going to pay tax on it. But we could go over to the Roth account and we can start taking money out of that account and not pay tax. But the dilemma is, maybe we should leave that account alone and let it continue to build, because it's building tax-free. The IRS wants you to take money out of the Roth as soon as possible. Now, the tax-free ×2, which is life insurance, what that does is helps you with your overall estate plan and your legacy plan and your long-term care plan. So all these 4 buckets together give you the total financial plan and keeps retirement worry-free forever, not only for you, but your spouse and your next of kin who will inherit a tax-free windfall. You've had a great life. Your goal was to make sure your kids and grandkids were fine after you. You did, but you wanted to make sure you had a great life, so we call it a spend and leave plan. You start with a certain amount of money in a lump sum in all these 4 accounts, and the goal is for you to have a great life and your spouse to have a great life, but when you pass away, an amount equal to or greater than you started with will pass on to your children and grandchildren tax-free. That's using true diversification, not only in the market, but in the tax code.
Understanding these tax buckets is a key element in crafting a smart, tax-efficient strategy for your retirement and investments. If you're looking for tailored advice on managing your tax strategy and enhancing your financial plan, our team is here to help. Coach Pete and the team at Capital Financial are ready to offer tips and strategies to get you where you want to be in retirement. Take advantage of the no-cost, no-obligation financial review to understand the ins and outs of your retirement plan. A customized plan based on your wants and needs. Contact us today. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more retirement help.
Invest in these meme coins unless you have a strategy to get in and get out real quick. Don't sit around when it goes up a little bit with your calculator saying, well, if it goes up to this amount, I'm going to be a multi-trillionaire. Yes. Of course, it's never going to get there and you're going to lose all your money. So if you've doubled your initial investment, sell half of what you put in, and now you're playing with the bookies money, we call it, because you've got all the money you invested back.
There you go.
Well, a whole lot easier to hold something long-term, Bruce, when it's not really costing you.
What can happen if you miss a required minimum distribution? If you know the answer to this question, you could receive a free copy in the mail of one of Coach Pete D'Arruda's latest best-selling books. Isn't that right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. We've got 2 books. Now, my newest book is Tax Savvy Retirement. It's over 200 pages of how to put you in control of the tax man before, during, and after retirement. And the big book on retirement, over 300 pages, diagramming how to get to and through retirement in the best possible position. So you'll get your choice of one of these 2 books if you answer the trivia question correctly. And Thomas, it's a multiple choice question too.
It is. All right, here are your options. What can happen if you miss an RMD? A, you get bonus interest. B, you have a 50% penalty. C, you get a Roth conversion. Or D, a tax-free withdrawal. There are some of these that you may wish it was, and there are some of these that it actually is. Let's do this.
Yeah, so all you have to do is give us your answer. You see the way to do that is to call the number you see on the screen or text, and we will give the correct winners their choice of the books.
You know, I tell people all the time, you're not getting any younger. You don't get to take any of it with you.
Right.
And if you think about that, it means you are supposed to spend money. But there's a lot of people who can't go into their assets to spend. They just, because, well, what if I need it? What if I live too long? What if? And so then they end up living this suboptimal retirement. And if they can get these streams of income that they can feel confident in spending, they can actually have a better retirement.
Yeah, we call it a financial fill-up strategy. And if you remember back in the day, you'd go to the gas station, you'd go to the pump, and you go over a thing, it would go ding, ding. and they would run out. Back in the day, they run out and they'd change the oil, they'd check the oil for you, they'd clean the windshields, and they fill your car up. Why can't we have that in retirement? Why can't we pull into us or have it automatically sent to us a check every year? Have that financial fill-up strategy put you in financial cruise control.
Welcome into our series on the Big Book on Retirement. Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here with you alongside Coach Pete Deruta, President, Founding Principal of Capital Financial, America's Wealth, Financial and Income Coach. And one other thing, among many things I'm leaving off the table, the author of the book that we're discussing right now.
Yeah. Big Book on Retirement.
The Big Book on Retirement. Yeah. So we are looking at devising a playbook in Chapter 3, Coach. So we've talked about picking the right coach and just making sure that we know what's going on when it comes to rules. But what about this playbook?
A playbook is another word for a plan.
Okay.
And so we have a financial playbook for all our clients. They know exactly what kind of income they can get. We know ahead of time what they're going to want to do in retirement a lot of times, and then we can put a price to that.
Yeah.
And so then we can make a playbook. So when you get to a certain age of retirement, you're going to retire, and then you can be able to start playing. So it really is a playbook, isn't it?
I like that, yeah.
But it's. I've seen so many people who didn't have a playbook hit retirement and had no clue how much they could spend without worrying about outliving money.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have any fun because they were worried about spending too much, but they could have spent a whole lot more if they just had that simple playbook put together. So if you don't have a playbook, now's a good time to do it.
It absolutely is. And this playbook carries so many aspects. I mean, I was just flipping through the chapter here a little bit. It goes into long-term care planning and healthcare planning, mitigating wills and trusts and all the different elements. It all goes into the book, doesn't it? The plan.
If you don't have a will or trust, you really need to get one. I've had some deaths in my family. My wife has as well. We've had people die, relatives way far away from us on my wife's side died without a will. And that was a big process, put it that way.
Yeah.
And so get a trust or will. If you move to a different state and you already have a will or trust, make sure you get it updated to the state you're in. We have a special program we use for our clients. When you move, we just update the state. It automatically updates your estate planning documents. So you don't have to worry about paying an attorney. It's already done it for you.
Wow.
You may have to get them re-notarized. That's easy. You don't have to pay another attorney over and over again, so that's good.
There you go.
Long-term care, big issue. A lot of folks are saying, gosh, I can't afford a long-term care policy, or I've heard so many bad things about long-term care policies.
Yep.
The life insurance industry about 5 years ago stepped up, and now they give you the ability to reach into your life insurance death benefit while you're still living and have that money pay for your long-term care. So let's say you have a $1 million life insurance policy and you have to go to a long-term care facility. You need $100,000 for that for 1 year.
Yeah.
You call the life insurance company up and say, hey, I've got to go to a long-term care facility. I need $100,000 out of my death benefit of $1 million. Send it to me, and they do tax-free.
Wow.
So you could technically do that 10 years, $100,000 a year. Your insurance will be gone, but it's served its purpose. It's helped you. And life insurance used to be for when you die. Now it's for the living. Yeah. So if you haven't had that explained, or if you have a life insurance policy that doesn't have that in there, sometimes it's more affordable to get the new policy with the long-term care than it is to have the current policy. So let's get a review of that and make sure you're in control. What we've always done for 32 years, I put my clients in control of the money world instead of paying attention or not having to worry about paying attention or being beholden to whatever the money world says. Now you are paying attention without even having to, because you got Coach Pete looking out for you.
Yes.
Putting you in control of the money world. So that's what the whole chapter is about. The whole book is about too. But it's all about our premise about meeting with us so we put you in control instead of you being in the back seat. Now you're in the front seat.
Exactly.
So call and get your free review, folks.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, folks. Call, text, however you'd like to connect with us. You see the options there on the screen. We'd be honored to sit down with you. Coach, you have an amazing team of fiduciary planners.
Put everything
here
in writing too, folks. There's no surprises because everything is in writing.
It's true.
Very important, by the way.
It's true. Folks, this has been Chapter 3. Stay tuned. Chapter 4 is right around the corner.
Thomas, what do we do on our show?
We define our terms.
Yes. What is CES?
Oh, please don't. Joe, can you help me?
Consumer Electronics Show, Thomas.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Consumer Electronics Show, where they show all the neat stuff that's coming up that you can't afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, how was the event? Was it worthwhile attending?
The event was eye-opening, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Saw a lot of cool stuff. I mean, just like you said, stuff that's not available yet, but is coming. And got to play with a few gadgets, and some of the things. And of course, I won't get into it just yet. But some of the stuff that I just walked out of the SEC or CES show and said, you know what? I understand AI now much better.
Yeah, right now it's just basically a Google on steroids.
Yeah.
Is what AI is for most people. But what do you see AI becoming here in the next, let's say, 5 years and a decade?
Well, I see it really being a game changer. When you look back at the internet, and when the internet came out, it gave such usability. It gave companies a way to scale, and you see companies today coming online. I kind of like to look at it like Starbucks. Those are what I call atom companies. Those are companies that have to have thousands of stores to service millions of customers. Right?